Okay, so before we start, we'll do a bit of housekeeping as always. So we'd love it if you guys could have your cameras on, just so we're not staring at blank screens. And please mute yourself while Alex is speaking. So today we have Alex from South32 coming to tell us a bit about graduate opportunities with them. And yeah, she also is happy to take questions during the session. So if you have a question, feel free to put your question in the chat or raise your hand and we can get you to say it out. Thank you. So I'll hand it over to you, Alex.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me today, and big thanks to Georgia, who got in contact with myself and my boss, Katie, to invite me to present today on behalf of Illawarra Metallurgical Coal and South32. So today's session, I wanted to keep it very open. So feel free to ask me any questions along the way that you might have. In terms of the structure of today's session, I'll just be giving you a bit of an overview of what we do at South32, our different operations that we have across the Illawarra, and some of the opportunities that we advertise for throughout the year. So I'll see if I can move ahead. Okay, so in terms of South32, we're a globally diversified metals and mining company with operations across the world in Australia, South Africa, South America, and we've got offices in Europe, Asia, and North America. There's several things that we mine in the Illawarra region. We have a specific blend of metallurgical coal that we ship around the world. Once it goes to BlueScope Steel as well for steel manufacturing, and it also gets processed and washed before it goes overseas. So there's a lot that goes into the process before obviously it gets sent overseas, but that's sort of what we do here in the Illawarra. It's that coal mining. But we do have other operations that mine other products like bauxite, alumina, aluminium, manganese, nickel, silver, lead, and zinc. You might have also seen that we trade on the ASX and also other trading organizations as well. So that our listing code is under S32 if you're interested in buying some shares with us. So in terms of our global portfolio, we've got operations, like I said, all over the world, but you can see what our footprint actually looks like from this global map. So you can see there's quite a lot of operations that we have in Australia, but then we've also got some key operations here in the South Africa region, and then over in South America as well. In terms of our Illawarra met coal operations, so I'll be very much specifically talking about our Illawarra met coal operation and some of the career entry programs we have on offer here. So in terms of what we produce premium quality hard coking coal for steel making from our underground mines at both Appin and Dendrobium. When the product is processed, it goes straight to our coal preparation plant. We've got two main coal preparation plants here in the Illawarra region, one in Westcliff and also one at the Dendrobium coal preparation plant, and it's actually located at BlueScope Steel on their facility. We've also got our Port Kembla coal terminal that supports us as well with the distribution of our Illawarra metallurgical coal and the metallurgical blend over to international customers and use in domestic steel making at BlueScope Steel. So we have operations pretty much that span across all of the southern coalfields of New South Wales, which is about 75 kilometres outside of Sydney. So across Appin, our coal mine really spreads quite significantly out through Picton and that sort of area. We've also got our Dendrobium coal mine that spreads out through Mount Kembla and through the Wollongong area. In terms of our history, we began coal mining around these areas in 1935 at Wongawilli Colliery. So it really traces back to quite a while back now, and we've got quite a lot of generations of coal miners working underground. as well as generations of families that have come through as well, which is really nice to see. So our people are a really big part of what we do at our operation, and really create the culture for what we want to see at South32 for generations to come as well. We also supply a small amount of coal for energy as well, and that's also part of the exporting that we do. IMC, or Illawarra Metallurgical Coal, is currently made up of over 1,000 employees and over 1,000 contractors in the Illawarra region. So we're very much a big player in the Illawarra for employment, and that's across a variety of roles. So, you know, we've got engineering positions, we've got functional based roles like my role in HR, we've got roles underground as trades, we've got operator roles underground as well. So it really spans out to give quite a lot of opportunities to people, you know, that are coming out of university, especially in the Wollongong region, you know, an opportunity to continue their career in New South Wales and in a place very close to the beach, which is great. So Appin Mine currently has a 19-year reserve life, and the Dendrobium mine, which you may have seen in the news as well, our Dendrobium next domain is currently in feasibility phases. So we unfortunately missed out on the approval to extend through the Dendrobium next domain project, but definitely looking at options to see what we can do to move ahead with that D&D project. Generally, our underground employees don't have, it's just a fun fact really, don't have access to computers or IT or mobile phones and things underground. So it's one of those things for coal mining that once you sort of get acquainted with the industry and you have some time underground, you get to see it's a completely different world, and it's definitely a rewarding one. There's definitely a lot of scope for engineers to build their careers in coal mining, and mining in particular. It really gives you excellent opportunities to further your career more broadly through Australia and also potentially globally, if you're interested in moving overseas to, I guess, explore different mining opportunities. Like I was mentioning, this is sort of a snapshot of our locations across the Illawarra region. So you can see there how large scale Appin is. So we extend out to Picton, and then we've also got extension out to sort of central Appin there as well. But you can see the footprint is quite large, and if you just sort of drive through there, you can see multiple different entry points to the Appin mine. So we've got an Appin West portal, we've got an Appin East portal, which is our central, and then an Appin North portal as well to access underground. And then when you're actually underground, all those portals eventually link up via different seams and different routes. Then we've also got the Dendrobium mine as well. So Dendrobium is located in Mount Kembla, and just you can see how close in proximity it is to Wollongong. So it's very rare for mining operations, and we get this all the time when we have people, you know, flying into, you know, inspect the mine, or visitors that are coming in to see the mine. But when people are coming into Dendrobium, it's actually very rare to see, you know, so many houses and so many residential homes and things on the way up to the mine. In addition to that, it's also very rare to see so many beautiful trees and flowers and things around mine sites. So people are generally quite taken aback when they head over to Dendrobium. Whereas Appin, you know, it's more open and more country style out there. So very much still has that mining characteristic associated with it. Like I said earlier, we do have our processing operations, and our processing operations focus on, you know, washing the coal and like processing it with different chemicals to make sure that it's suitable to be used in steel making and also to be shipped overseas. So we have our Westcliff coal preparation plant, and that is based in the Appin North area. So you can see just at the top there, all of our coal from Appin goes straight there to be processed. Plus, we also have our Dendrobium coal preparation plant, which is based at Port Kembla in the BlueScope facility. And you do need BlueScope access to get there. So we have that facility there for all of our Dendrobium coal once it's sent down there. Then our Port Kembla coal terminal. Interestingly about our Port Kembla coal terminal is that we are a part owner in that. And all of the management team are currently led by South32 personnel. But like I mentioned, we're only a part owner in that. So South32 don't have full, I guess, full control in terms of, you know, decision making and that sort of thing for Port Kembla coal. And a lot of the coal, when it gets shipped across overseas, goes straight from there. Plus, it also would get used locally as well at BlueScope Steel. So in terms of metallurgical coal, so the actual blend that we have is quite highly sought after internationally. We have two main types of coal. It's the energy coal and metallurgical coal. Metallurgical coal is used in the steel production, making it critical for building materials, construction of high-rise buildings and infrastructure. Our IMC operation in Australia has been producing premium quality hard coking coal for 80 years. And like I said, it's called the Illawarra Metallurgical Blend or the Illawarra Blend. Road haulage from Appin to Port Kembla Coal Terminal, 40 kilometres. And then we ship all of the coal from Dendrobium to the Dendrobium coal preparation plant via rail. So that's the key difference there. We, like I mentioned, have that part ownership at Port Kembla Coal Terminal, and our management team is all South32 employees, and our part ownership there is 16.7%. There are also some of the areas that we ship our coal to, but we've got a very well diversified portfolio of international clients, which is pretty exciting. All right, so in terms of our process, this gives you a bit more of a detailed look into how the coal basically makes its way from the mine directly to be shipped overseas or used at BlueScope Steel. So you can see here, we've got development. So development basically make the way for our longwall, and you've probably heard of longwalls in the past and longwall shearers in the past, which are basically used to cut the coal and bring it onto our conveyor belts or our coal clearance systems to then be shipped out of the mine and to our prep plants. So we've currently got two longwalls operating at Appin, Area 7 and Area 9. And then we've got one longwall operating at Dendrobium. What happens is when the coal is cut, it goes onto our conveyor systems and is then transported out of the mine. Here you can see it's via rail at Dendrobium and via trucks at Appin. It then goes to our prep plants for processing and then goes into a blending stockpile. You can see here at Dendrobium, and same thing here after it's processed at Westcliff into a blending stockpile. And then it goes out for export or used, like I said, at BlueScope Steel. Here is also a bit of a snapshot of our metallurgical coal versus energy coal and how it's transported or used across the world. The best thing, I guess, about South32 is that, you know, when you start working here, it really opens you up to so many other operations, not only nationally in Australia, but globally across a lot of different countries and across a lot of different operations, not just in coal, but in other minerals and resources as well. Here are some key stats and figures. So you can see here that we travel approximately 8 million kilometres on trucks moving coal. which is pretty impressive. We've supported with 52,000 homes equivalent energy produced by EDL from app and methane. We've got 1,200 plus employees employed through our operations in the Illawarra region, so definitely a big contributor to employment locally. And you can see some key stats and figures here as well. You know, our conveyor system alone, we've got up to 70 kilometres worth of conveyors that just transport the coal underground and then out of the mine. I won't go into this too much, but our values are really important to us. They really underpin how everybody behaves at South32. And it's really at the forefront when we're making decisions about our strategy and about our commercial decisions on a daily basis. So they really, like it says there, they really guide us in terms of every decision that we make. And our 4 key values there are care, trust, togetherness, and excellence. And what that helps us do is underpin, I guess, our strategy, which again is to make sure that we optimize, unlock, and identify different opportunities through what we identify at South32. Before I move on, are there any questions about, you know, our operation or some key stats and figures there that I've gone through?
Sorry,
you go, Daniel.
Sorry, I just joined. So sorry if you've already answered this question, but I'm curious. I know if the mining industry, especially the energy sector in general, there's a big shift currently going on, especially going towards renewables, away from, you know, coal and stuff that was more in the 20th century. How are you guys at South32 sort of constantly adapting and innovating, like, you know, changing? Because again, new technology keeps coming up. So how are you guys constantly keeping in the loop and, you know, keeping up to date with that stuff?
Yeah, so it's a good question. I guess with regards to our operation, we're very much focused on coal at this point in time, in the Illawarra region specifically. But like I said, you know, we've got minerals and other operations across the world and over nationally as well in Australia, all different minerals that we're mining. So it's not limited to just coal and coal for energy. So completely understand, you know, where the direction is going with regards to renewable resources and energy sources there. But also we've linked in very closely with BlueScope Steel, and there's very much still a need for coal for their steel manufacturing. I think they are looking long term at, you know, more hydrogen based production methods. So I think it will potentially go down that path eventually, but, you know, they're still a long way away from, you know, using that as a method for steel making.
I just wanted to ask Alex, so you kind of answered it there with BlueScope looking to go to a hydrogen, but is there like currently an alternative to metallurgical coal, like to, you know, like refined metals?
I'm probably not the best person to ask being in HR, but I would assume so, that there would be other alternatives to explore, absolutely. But like I said, in terms of coal mining, it's still very much needed in steel manufacturing.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think Hamish's question was pretty much the same as yours, Daniel. Just with commitment to net zero by 2050, how is South32 looking to adjust their operations? But
yeah.
You may have already answered that.
Yeah, and like I mentioned, you know, we've got a lot of other operations that aren't specifically focused on coal and coal for energy. So, and what's a key difference, I guess, for us is that we're not specifically just focused on energy coal. So, key difference for us is that we are primarily providing coal to steel manufacturers globally, and also to BlueScope Steel for their steel manufacturing. So it's a very key difference, because a lot of people think, you know, oh, coal is just, you know, there to turn the lights on. Well, it's not just that. And our primary operation is to supply coal specifically for the steel. Yeah.
Thanks, Alex.
No worries. Some key things here, which I thought I'd highlight as a bit of a safety highlight for you all, is around our life-saving rules. So our life-saving rules are really important to us. If you end up joining South32 in the near future, we all have all these life-saving rules that you need to follow. So safety is extremely important to us, and we want to aim for 0 incidents on site. And there are several life-saving rules that we follow here. So we've got isolation requirements, when work is being done on, machinery or areas that have high energy sources. Working at heights, again, a very risky sort of activity. So we also have very much a heavy life-saving rule around working at heights. Also unsupported ground and suspended loads, being competent and making sure that you never operate any equipment unless authorized to do so, being aware of any restricted zones, which would be clearly marked out underground, and also being aware of any safety device rules and requirements and procedures before undertaking any work with specific machinery or equipment. So never removing or breaching or bypassing any safety devices there. So moving on to the exciting part around our career entry programs. So we have closed all of our applications for next year's intake for each of these different streams of programs, but I thought I'd give you all an overview in today's session to show you what we really have on offer and some of the exciting opportunities moving forward for South32. We are always looking to fill the pipeline, and graduates that are coming out of university have an excellent platform to extend their career in mining, but also at Illawarra Metallurgical Coal in either our Appin or Dendrobium operation. I also didn't mention we have also got a regional office, which is in the process of relocating to the Port Kembla Coal Terminal, and a lot of our functions are based out of that regional office. So to give you an overview of these 3 structures, so we've got our vacation program. Our vacation program is really designed to be a program where you get a real feel and taste of what it's like to work at a coal mine. You really get to experience this for 12 weeks to support towards your studies. So it can link to, getting any final sign-offs in terms of your practical experience and exposure to, an operation. But it also gives you an opportunity to work on a real project that is currently underway at the mine. So it's really exciting to see, our vacationers go through a 12-week stint of understanding what we do at the operation, but also to solve some pretty critical problems that we have on the go. And we've seen some absolutely excellent standout presentations given at the end of the vacation program, where a lot of the ideas that have come out of that program have been implemented on site, which it's very unique to see that within just 12 weeks. So those students have done phenomenal jobs in the past in coming up with those ideas. Then more of a consistent program that we have on offer as well is our graduate program, and typically this is completed at the end of your degree. And what the graduate program will enable you to gain experience in is the underground operation and also the surface operation, and a variety of different disciplines across South32 and IMC. And some of I'm not sure if I have a slide in here on that. Yeah, I do. So we have, a number of different disciplines on offer for our graduate program. And when we do advertise, we generally advertise for all those different disciplines before we make selections on who we want to move forward with. So it's not just mining engineering, it's also mechatronics engineering, it's also mechanical, electrical, geotechnical. So we have, a number of different disciplines on offer that we advertise for, because there is, quite a big need at South32 for new talent coming through. And then lastly, we've got our apprentice program there as well. And apprentices, we see a lot of apprentices coming through TAFE, but then also, wanting to get exposure or a career change to mining. So we have, a number of electrical, mechanical and fabrication apprentices that we're taking on. So just as an example, for 2022 intake, we're putting on 10 new apprentices, and that's across Appin and Dendrobium. Our intakes also for vacation and graduates are roughly the same. So we usually take, upwards of 10 for each of those programs. And we have, really, really well-structured programs that really give our graduates and our vacationers a really good taste of what it's like working at the mine. In terms of the disciplines that we offer, like I've mentioned or touched on just very briefly there, we've got vacation program disciplines on offer in mechanical, electrical, surveying, mining, geology and geotechnical, and continuous improvement, which is very much a new field that we're only just recently starting to explore for the 2021-2022 year. Graduate program, so a number of different disciplines on offer here in mechanical, electrical, comms and automation, which is very much a new field that we're starting to explore as well. Mining engineering and geology and geotechnical as well. And then our apprentices, like I mentioned, we've got those 3 disciplines there in mechanical, electrical and fabrication. Are there any questions on that?
I've seen the like mechanical and electrical as an option for like quite a few vacation programs now. But in mechatronics, do you know, like, any chance you know which one mechatronic engineers usually go? Because it's kind of like a combination of both.
Yeah, it definitely is a combination. But what I guess I would encourage you to sort of look into, if South32 is the direction that you want to take, or at least explore, is around the mechanical engineering field, or even the mining engineering field would be most applicable. There is also the opportunity, if you do see it, for continuous improvement, because engineering, and specifically mechatronics engineering, would be very useful in this space, particularly when we're looking at process improvements and how we can optimize and make the operation a lot more efficient.
So are students like welcome to like pick which one that they like think that they want to go into? Like,
yeah, so yeah, it's a great question. So in the application process, when you're going through and specifying exactly which discipline you want to choose, that option will be there to select what discipline you're wanting to, I guess, get more experience in. Any other questions?
don't think we have any more at the moment.
Okay. This is a bit of an overview about HVTC. So our apprentices aren't employed directly by South32. They're actually employed by HVTC, and we work in partnership with them to make sure that we have our apprentices located on site. So we act as the host employer for the apprentices that are employed at HVTC. So it's just to give you a bit of a snapshot there of what they do. Probably some of the key things that I'd like to share about the grad program. It's very much a unique graduate program in the sense that you get a blend of what it's like to work underground, what it's like to work on the surface, what it's like to work, as a coordinator in that sort of facilitation space. And we've really tried over the last few years to design our graduate programs around the individual. So, depending on what the individual wants to do long term, we see our graduates coming into the organisation as gaining a learning opportunity, as opposed to, them filling a gap, if that makes sense. So we want to make sure that the program is valuable and really links in with what the student or what the graduate wants to do long term in their career. So I'd say that's probably the most unique aspect of our South32 graduate program. And that's not just speaking from an Illawarra coal perspective, but that's also speaking globally about the South32 graduate program. So we definitely take career development very seriously, and we want to make sure that we offer our graduates that opportunity to really extend their career and give them the best opportunity to be an employee of choice in the market. All right, are there any other questions?
I just had a bit of a small one. Is the intake for vacation program and grad program only summer intake? Or is there...
Yeah, it's a good question. So our intakes normally occur around May, June, July. So you'll see a lot of the ads go up, then we go through like an assessment center process, interview process before we then make our final selections. And then in terms of the actual intake commencement date, so we have our vacation students commencing as of the 22nd of November this year, and that will run for a period of 12 weeks. But then our graduates will commence at the start of February for next year.
Thanks, Alex.
No worries.
Yeah, I don't think we have any more questions at the moment. So.
Okay. No worries at all. Well, I guess thanks everyone for coming in and signing in for the session today. Like I said, really keep an eye out on all of our career entry programs, and I'm sure, Georgia, you could pass on my details to anybody that is interested in getting to know a little bit more information about what we have on offer. We're definitely keen to, I guess, get people in that are interested in careers in mining. So a lot of the time people just want to feel out what it's like to work in mechanical engineering or electrical, but we want to see people that, you know, have that passion burning for mining. So yeah, looking forward to potentially seeing you all apply for our graduate programs or career entry programs in the future. And thanks very much for tuning in.
Alex, did you have that video you wanted to show?
Yeah, I can show that. Otherwise, if it will work, I'm just trying to get the technology going here. Okay. Georgia, you tell me if the sound's not working at all.
Yep, will do.
Our Illawarra metallurgical coal operations are located in the Illawarra and Wallandilly regions of New South Wales, about 75 kilometres south of Sydney. Steeped in coal mining history dating back more than 150 years, the region's first coal mines opened in the early 19th century. Illawarra Metallurgical Coal has been operating in the region since 1935.
Hi, I'm Neville McAlary and I am the General Manager of Dendrobium Mine. Join us today as we tour our operations and meet some of our people. Illawarra Metallurgical Coal consists of 2 underground mines, 2 processing facilities, 8 kilometres of rail infrastructure and over 2,000 employees and contractors. Our underground mines at Appin and Dendrobium produce high quality metallurgical coal used for steel making, known as the Illawarra blend. Before heading underground, we start every day with a performance centre meeting to share information on the previous 24 hours with regard to safety, development and production. We are focused on further improvement by creating an inclusive workplace where work is well designed and we continuously improve our systems and processes.
Hi, my name's Rob. I'm a deputy. Follow me as I take you underground at Dendrobium Mine. It takes us approximately 45 minutes and 12 kilometres to reach the coalface. There are 127 kilometres of underground roads facilitating 53 vehicle movements per day. In financial year 20, Dendrobium will develop a further 20 kilometres of roadways, 5.5 metres wide and greater than 6 metres high. Over at Appin, we transport 700 people underground per day from 3 different pit tops. The longwall mining method is used at Illawarra Metallurgical Coal. The method extracts long rectangular blocks of coal in a single continuous operation by an automated cutting head moving parallel to the coal face. When the coal is cut, the working area is protected by a movable powered roof support system. As the face progresses, the supports are moved forward and the roof is collapsed behind them. Approximately 3,500 tonne of coal is extracted per operating hour and is delivered to the surface by 70 kilometres of conveyors.
Hello, my name is Brenton. Illawarra Metallurgical Coal operates 2 processing facilities at Dendrobium and Westcliff. Let me show you around. The processing plant removes impurities like rocks and dirt through washing and the treatment of coal. Dendrobium will send 100% of its coal wash reject to beneficial use in 2020. That's 1 million tonnes per year.
Hi, my name is Neil. I'm part of the team that delivers coal to port every day. We travel 8 million kilometres per year transporting our coal, accounting for nearly 6% of all truck movements on Mount Eisley. Rail infrastructure delivers almost 5 million tonnes of coal per year on its 8-kilometre journey from Dendrobium to the coal preparation plant at Port Kembla.
My name is Mark. Welcome to the Port Kembla Coal Terminal. Follow me as we ready our coal for export. We manage the port that ships up to 10 million tonnes of coal per year to domestic and international customers. We export South32's coal across the world, including Southeast Asia, North Asia, India and Europe. In Australia, we sell our coal to local steel mills.
My name is Amanda, working in the communities team. Our operation is just one part of the bigger picture. We are proud to support the local community, backing community programs, supporting new facilities and infrastructure, and promoting local employment and business opportunities. We look beyond the life of our operations and instead focus on the lives of the people surrounding us, contributing over 4.1 million in community partnership trusts in the Illawarra and Wallandilly regions. We supported over 35 community groups and businesses in 2019. Together, we can create healthier, happier and stronger communities.
We plan to continue mining in Dendrobium's next 2 underground mining areas within the existing mining lease. Continued mining would secure the employment of Dendrobium's workforce, creating additional jobs, ensuring the supply of metallurgical coal to local and overseas customers until 2048, and continue opportunities for local businesses and suppliers.
We are seeking state and Commonwealth approval for the project, with our application supported by an environmental impact statement. We carefully consider the surface environment when designing our mines and choosing our locations. Thanks for visiting Illawarra Metallurgical Coal.
Awesome. Thanks, Alex.
No worries. Thank you.
I'll put, if anyone else has any last questions, feel free to ask them. I'll put the attendance link in the chat now. Yep, so if you have any questions, feel free to just still ask them. Yep. And thanks for coming in again, Alex, especially on such short notice.
No worries. No worries at all. Thanks, everyone. All right.
Can I ask though, underground, like all of the mining's underground, but does that have any effect on the surface, like at all?
We obviously, like that video mentioned, we obviously confirm everything's okay from a surface perspective with our surface surveyors, and they are really based outside of Porto operation. Difficult to say exactly from our perspective, but we would do all of our checks in terms of making sure that there's no mine subsidence.
Okay, nice. Awesome.
Any other questions?
I think that might be it. I haven't seen any more.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for your time.
Thanks, Alex. Yeah.
See you.
Yeah.